Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to be with you here today in such a well-organized conference. I'd like to thank the organizers for giving us this opportunity to tell you a little story about the e-government program in Bahrain and the journey we went through. If you allow me, what I'll do is I won't focus on the technical aspects of security. Rather, I will try and relate how we managed to strike a good balance between security, usability, and how it has changed people's lives to the better, and how we've been able to deliver public services in a secure environment at the same time. For those of you wondering about Bahrain, we're a very small country based in the Gulf, in the Middle East. The head of state is His Majesty, King Ahmed bin Isa Al Khalifa, who succeeded to the throne in 1999, and has since then led a number of economic, a number of political reforms across the country. As you're aware, for any successful e-government program, you need political will, political support, and political drive. And that's why we report to a Supreme Committee of ICT, which governs the entire program, enacts its policies. It's headed by a Deputy Prime Minister with 2 other deputies on the panel and 8 other ministers. So it shows you the importance of the program to the country, the will and drive of the government to change things to an electronic way, at the same time maintaining, people's rights and people's focus. The initial strategy was enacted in 2007 through 2010 as an implementation plan, and it focused on an effective, efficient government that fulfills citizens' lives. We focused on all sectors of the population, be it individuals, government, businesses, and even visitors to the country. It's aligned with an economic vision of the country, and the motto was towards a better life. This is, a very quick depiction of the entire program, and if you look at it, we have, a data center for the country, a government data network. Data security is, of course, of paramount importance in such initiatives, but it's one of the main pillars. A national data set, a number of initiatives revolving around it, and delivery channels. On the left-hand side are the enablers to the program, whether it's business process engineering, capacity building, marketing and awareness of the program, international participation in events such as these, effective program management, and of course, monitoring and evaluation, all reporting to the Supreme Committee of ICT. As you're aware, e-government is more than mere automation. We have the citizens at the focus of the program, with channels of choice around it, committing to service levels for our e-services, and of course, at the peak of the pyramid, there are the processes and policies, which include security management, information security, etc. Our main focus was to deliver electronic services to the citizens of Bahrain, and we targeted a number of governmental services across the government spectrum. To date, we have services across 4 main channels: the e-government portal, a mobile portal, e-service centers, which are the equivalent of the CSCs in India, and the National Contact Center, which is a single number to call for any government service. Of course, the most important aspect in all these 4 channels is to maintain data integrity, data security within all the channels. So we have a central database, and these channels are mere presentation layers or delivery platforms which have their own specific security around each one of them. So for example, the portal has antivirus scanning for attachments. They're all ISO 27001 certified for the entire program, etc. To date, we have 200 unique e-government services delivered from over 40 government entities. 55 unique services on mobile, including payment. And as you're aware, payments over mobile have the security challenge because, the SMS, for example, is traditionally unsecured. It's data-free. So we have innovative approaches, especially on mobile for payments. We're one of the first countries in the Middle East to enable payments over mobile. Of course, we have, considering the size of the country, we have 15 centers, which means people can avail of government services in a 2-kilometer span anywhere. Similarly, with the e-service kiosks, which enable payments across the country in shopping malls and public places, government offices, etc. And of course, our National Contact Center, which provides immense employment opportunities. To date, we have over 200 people working just in the contact center. We believe that you cannot manage what you cannot measure. So measurement is a very important aspect of the program. Our target was to achieve 80% customer satisfaction. So what we do is, on a quarterly basis, we engage private sector companies to measure the client satisfaction. So if you look at the graphs from 2008 to 2010, these are the measurements, and satisfaction has grown over time, which means our program has been successful in delivering the required services to the citizens with the required quality to meet their demands. Of course, we try and benchmark internationally using the UN e-readiness index, and for the latest e-readiness index in 2010, Bahrain was ranked #1 in the GCC, #3 in Asia, and number 13th worldwide for its e-government program. Of course, international participation is very important for us. That's why we're here in such a great event, because we learn and we share our experiences with the colleagues. These are just some of the awards we've won over the past few years. This slide shows that we've achieved most of our targets, being an e-government leader in the region, providing the 200 services to our citizens, ensuring customer satisfaction, and being available to each and every person in the country, from various income levels to various sexes to various types, white collar, blue collar. Everyone can avail of the e-government services through the available channels, through a multi-channel of delivery. These are some of the events that we host in Bahrain. The Cisco Networkers is one of our key events. We have a national expo, which is annually, and you're invited to attend these expos, please. Social networking has become a very important phenomenon, and we could not afford not to ride the wave and deliver services, engage with citizens on Twitter, Facebook, blogs, etc. A number of ministers have their own blogs at the e-government portal today to interact and to talk to citizens freely on policy matters, on services, on grievances, etc. So you open up the channel of e-participation with your citizens, taking it forward. I'd like to focus on one of our very important projects, which won an award last night. It's the National Enterprise Architecture Framework. What we believe is there's a positive correlation between e-government capability and architectural maturity. So the more advanced your architecture, the more you're likely to have better e-government capability. What we needed when we started the program is a nationwide or a kingdom-wide strategic and holistic guide for plans across e-government to bring together all the ministries, manage the complexity, manage the IT portfolio, support and systems development to deliver the services, supporting both business and IT prioritization, overcoming such issues with legacy information, and of course to manage information security across the government. What's an EAF? It's an aggregation of models and meta-models. It's governance and compliance mechanisms. It's a set of technology standards and guidelines. It's based on the TOGAF framework. Simply put, the objective of the National Enterprise Architecture Framework is to assist the Kingdom of Bahrain to design, develop, and deploy an enterprise architecture for better strategies, policies, plans, structures, and technologies across the government sector. This is a representation of the key implementation steps. It's not a waterfall model. It's a very iterative model which starts with an as-is architecture, has a target design for every government ministry, continuous review. We have a migration plan for the ministries. We manage the governance and compliance, and of course we train and build capacity for the government ministries to be able to deliver such an architecture. What we did is we set about 11 parameters which are relevant to enterprise architecture. We visited a number of ministries, about 28 of the government organizations, the larger ministries. We provided an assessment, and on the start, on the readiness scale, the average readiness from 1 to 5 was on 1. So it was a very low maturity model. As I said, we visited about 26, 28 ministries through structured questionnaires. We gathered the information, we sat through with them, we explained to them the objectives of this, we baselined the architecture, and we designed the 2B model, which is the target architecture, and we help the ministries going forward from their base architecture or from their as-is towards their 2B. This is, of course, done through a transition plan on a 3-year time frame, 58 initiatives across the 26 organizations, which we regularly monitor and categorize. Of course, governance is very important in such a project. We encourage and we enforce based on governance and compliance. We have an EA authority. We have the E4 model, which is basically evolve, enable, ensure, and enhance. Of course, a number of standards or guidelines have been developed, including information management and information security guidelines. We try and initially certify all government organizations for 27001 ISO. Without building a culture of enterprise architecture, a culture of safety, a culture of information management across the government entities, this does not happen. So we have extensive training on EA and information security. It's attended by architects or IT personnel from within the ministries. We've trained about 100 people, changed the way they think across 26 organizations to be able to be the catalysts of change for this program across the government entities. Of course, the way forward is we have 8 full-time enterprise architects under the EA authority who are responsible for this program. It's their full-time job. They take it forward from there, and they ensure accountability and responsibility for such a program. We also have an automated tool through our portal, which enables distribution of standards, which enables people to go back to it as a reference, and has a number of tools available that people could use within their respective organizations. 2010 is over, so we have a new strategy, which is 2011 through 2016. We have a committee which was organized from both the public and the private and the educational sectors. As it is, the public has always been, at the core and the main element in the strategy. And we, of course, we look at the public from both individuals, businesses, and the government sector at a local, regional, and international level. And we map the initiatives across this matrix for delivery. Public involvement, as I said, is very important in these services. They should understand what they're getting in a very simple way. The underlying principles of managing their information should be very important. Thank you very much. I hope that was useful for you.
Thank you very much, Jaffer.